By the time you kick off your shoes at the end of the day, you already know what you're going to find. Your ankles are puffed up like little pillows. Your socks have left a ridge in your skin that takes half an hour to fade. And if you had to put those shoes back on right now, you couldn't. Not comfortably. Maybe not at all. You've been carrying this quietly for a while now, haven't you? Not telling your family. Not really mentioning it to your doctor because, honestly, what are they going to do? Add another pill to the pile? So you just press on the swelling with your thumb, watch it dimple and slowly fill back in, and you think to yourself, this is just what getting older feels like. This is just my body now. I want you to sit with that for a second. That quiet, private shame of thinking you've let yourself go. That you didn't drink enough water, or you ate too much salt, or you didn't exercise enough, or all three. And now, here you are with legs that look like overstuffed sausages by Thursday afternoon. That little voice that says, this is your fault. I'm going to be very direct with you right now. It is not your fault. And I say that not to make you feel better. I say it because it is medically, factually true. What is happening in your legs is a plumbing problem, and nobody, not your doctor, not your pharmacist, not the pamphlet they hand you at discharge, nobody ever sat down and explained the free fix that nurses have been using on the hospital ward for decades, every single shift, on every single patient. It just never made it into the conversation you had in that 12-minute appointment. My name is Eleanor Vance. I've been a registered nurse for almost 40 years. I've worked med-surg, cardiac step-down, post-surgical recovery, the kinds of floors where you see every complication that can happen to a human body. I also turned 63 last spring, and I take a handful of my own medications every morning. I want to be honest about that. But I take fewer than I did 4 years ago, and one of the ones I stopped, with my doctor's blessing, was a water pill I had been on for 2 years for swollen ankles. Because I finally started doing, every day at home, what I had been doing for patients at work for 35 years, and it worked. Here is the thing I need you to understand first, because this changes everything. Swollen ankles and legs, in most healthy people over 60 with no new diagnosis, are not a disease. They are a backup in your body's drainage system. That's it. It's a plumbing problem, not a permanent condition. The fluid in your body is supposed to circulate. It goes out to your tissues through your arteries, does its job, and then it gets picked back up and returned through your veins and your lymphatic system. But that return trip, the one going back up from your feet toward your heart, that trip fights gravity, and it needs help. When you were younger and moving constantly, your muscles were doing that work without you even thinking about it. Now, when you sit in a chair for 3 hours, that fluid pools. It has nowhere to go, and your ankles pay the price. Now, I want to talk about something that's going to make some people uncomfortable. There is an entire category of prescription medication designed to treat water retention. Diuretics, water pills, fluid management drugs. And for some people, some conditions, they are absolutely necessary and life-saving. I want to be clear about that. But there is also a very profitable system that has learned to reach for those prescriptions first. For every puddle, a pill. And while your doctor is writing that script, the single most effective non-drug intervention for gravitational fluid pooling is not on that discharge paper. It was never on that discharge paper. It won't be handed to you in a plastic bag with your copay. Because it's free. It costs nothing. And the hospital ward has been using it quietly and effectively on bed-bound patients every single day. Because when a patient can't move on their own, nurses do it for them. We elevate, we move, we compress, and we watch the swelling go down. Every time. Let me explain what's actually happening in your legs so you can understand why this works. Your heart pumps blood down to your feet through your arteries. That's easy. Gravity helps. But getting it back up is the hard part. Your veins have little one-way valves in them, like tiny trap doors, that are supposed to hold blood in place while your calf muscles contract and squeeze it upward, section by section, like squeezing toothpaste up a tube. That calf muscle pump is sometimes called your second heart. And when you sit still, in a recliner, at a kitchen table, in a car, that second heart stops beating. The fluid seeps out of your capillaries into the surrounding tissue. That's the swelling you're feeling. That's the puffiness. That's the sock ring. Now here's the beautiful part. Because it's a mechanical problem, it has a mechanical solution. You use gravity in reverse to drain the reservoir. You activate the muscle pump to push the fluid back into circulation. And your kidneys, doing exactly what they're supposed to do, will clear it. No pill required. All right, here is the actual protocol, the one from the ward. And I need you to pay attention here because the details matter. First, elevation. Not your feet up on the coffee table, not propped on a pillow that puts your ankle at the same height as your hip. I mean legs above heart level. That's the phrase, above heart level. You need to lie flat on your back, on your bed or a firm couch, and put 2 or 3 firm pillows under your calves and heels so your feet are higher than your chest. You do this for 15 minutes, twice a day. I recommend once in the early afternoon before the swelling peaks, and once in the evening after dinner. Set a timer on your phone. 15 minutes. Don't fall asleep. You'll do it for 2 hours and wonder why your back hurts. While you are elevated, this is the part people skip, and it makes all the difference. You do ankle pumps. Here's exactly how. You flex your foot up toward your shin, hold 1 second, then point it back down. That's 1. You do 20 of those. Then you draw slow circles with your feet, 10 in one direction, 10 in the other. That calf muscle contraction, even that small movement, activates the venous pump. The fluid moves. You are quite literally wringing out your legs. 20 reps takes about 90 seconds. You can do this. Second piece, compression socks. And before you roll your eyes, I know, your grandmother wore those beige knee-highs. These are not those. You want light graduated compression, 15 to 20 millimeters of mercury. That's the number you're looking for on the packaging. You put them on in the morning before your feet touch the floor. Not after you've been up for an hour and the fluid has already pooled. Before you stand up. They are widely available. They cost between $15 and $30, and they work by giving your veins just enough external support to do their job. Your legs won't balloon during the day if you start the day compressed. Third piece, and this one is so simple it sounds too easy. Every hour that you are awake, you get up and walk for 2 minutes. Not a workout, not a lap around the block. 2 minutes. To the kitchen and back, to the mailbox, a slow stroll down the hall. That's all it takes to fire the calf pump and break up the pooling before it becomes the evening disaster you're used to. Set an hourly alarm if you need to. Honor it. 2 minutes is nothing. 2 minutes is everything. Now, I have to stop here and say something important because I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't. This protocol is for the slow, gradual, both legs swelling that builds over a day of sitting, the gravitational kind. It is not for every situation. If your swelling came on suddenly, within hours, call your doctor today. If only one leg is swollen, especially with warmth or redness, call your doctor today. That can be a blood clot, and it is not something to manage at home. If your swelling comes with shortness of breath, chest tightness, or you wake up at night feeling like you can't breathe, that is not a plumbing problem. That is your heart asking for help. Call 911. Do not try the elevation protocol. Please. I love you too much to let you use a home remedy when you need a hospital. If any of those things are your situation, stop this video and make the call. For everyone else, the gradual, bilateral, end-of-day puffy ankles that have been your quiet companion for months or years, this is for you. And if you want more of this kind of nurse-grade, no-nonsense home knowledge, this channel is where I put it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Here is the one sentence I want you to walk away with today. Your swollen legs are not a life sentence. They are a daily problem with a daily solution, and you have had access to that solution this whole time. I want to give you a challenge. 1 week, 7 days of the full protocol, 15 minutes of elevation twice a day, the ankle pumps, the morning compression socks, the 2-minute hourly walks. That's it. 1 week. And then I want you to come down to the comments and tell me 2 things: how much your swelling improved and how long you have been dealing with this. Months? Years? A decade? Because I have a feeling some of you are going to surprise yourselves. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you about another thing we do on the ward that nobody ever puts in the discharge paperwork, and this one involves your circulation in a way that most people over 60 have never even heard of. You're not going to want to miss it.